Alright folks, welcome to the Kibini Mountains, one of the oldest mountain ranges on the planet, about 390 million years old. Back then, it was way taller and everything around was lush and green, basically a prehistoric paradise. But of course climate had other plans, ice ages rolled in, all the cool exotic animals peaced out and tundra creatures took over. And then humans showed up and figured, yep, this looks like a fantastic place to settle. Although humans have inhabited this region for several millennia, large-scale development only began with the construction of the Murmansk Railway in 1914. Russia needed the railway to gain access to the Arctic Ocean through an ice-free bay, ensuring the uninterrupted delivery of military supplies from its Entente allies during the blockade of the Black and Baltic Seas in World War I. The small town we're in, home to 24,000 people, was founded thanks to geological discoveries. In the 1920s, the world's largest deposits of apatite ore, raw materials for fertilizer production, were found here. This had a major impact on the development of Soviet agriculture. It's no coincidence that a sign with 3 wheat stalks greets everyone entering the town. In the Soviet era, spending your only day off doing nothing wasn't exactly encouraged after a 6-day workweek. So in Kibinogorsk, as it was then known, they decided to turn it into a major national ski training center. Now that I've finally set up my GoPro, it's time to show you what snowboarding looks like at one of the northernmost ski resorts in the world. This place has Russia's longest ski season, snow sticks around from October to June, and in 2024 people were still skiing in mid-July. That's what happens when you're beyond the Arctic Circle. Many people in the Northern Hemisphere are familiar with the experience of waking up for work in complete darkness because the sun has yet to rise, and returning home in the evening when it's already set. Most of Russia lives this way. Moscow's shortest day lasts only 7 hours, not the most cheerful time of year. But Arctic Circle, that's hard mode. The shortest day here is literally 0 hours long. The sun just doesn't show up at all until the Earth tilts back. Here in the Kibini, the last sunset of the year happens on December 10th, and the sun doesn't bother showing up again until early January. And if you think summer brings relief, well, not exactly. Because from late spring onward, the sun just refuses to set. It's daytime 24/7, no night, no sunset, just endless daylight for a month and a half. Good luck sleeping. The Sami, one of Europe's oldest indigenous people and the native inhabitants of the Kola Peninsula, had their own way of explaining the strange natural phenomena here. Long ago, when the Kibini Mountains were not yet covered in snow, the sun and the moon lived in harmony, equally sharing their time in the sky. The sun provided warmth and light, allowing nature to thrive, while the moon illuminated the night, watching over people and animals as they rested. But one day, the moon noticed that the sun was lingering in the sky longer than it should, leaving no time for her to shine. Feeling neglected, the moon decided to speak with the sun. She approached the sun and asked, "Why do you shine longer than you should? The earth grows weary from my heat and I have no time to soothe the world with my night." The sun replied, "Without my light and warmth, nature cannot survive. You bring rest, but I bring life." The argument grew more heated, and as they quarreled, the balance of the world was thrown into chaos. Nights became endlessly long and days unbearably hot. Hearing their dispute, the ancient spirits of the Kibini arrived. These powerful beings, guardians of nature's balance, listened to both sides and proposed a compromise. In winter, the moon would reign, bringing long nights so the earth could rest and regain strength. In summer, the sun would rule, filling the world with warmth and light, fostering life and growth. And so the polar night and polar day were born. To seal their peace, the sun and the moon made a promise. The moon vowed to protect the silence of the night, watching over the slumbering world and lighting the way in the darkest times. The sun swore to bring joy and energy, filling people's hearts with warmth during the endless summer days. The Sami believed that neither force, neither day nor night should ever be stronger than the other. Only together could they create the harmony of life. Kirovsk, the town we're in right now, is located right at the base of the mountains. If you're lucky enough to rent a place in the nearest building to the slopes, you can literally snowboard straight to your door without taking your board off. Living in Russia and choosing the vacation in the far north during winter might seem like an act of masochism. Only about 3% of Russians engage in skiing or snowboarding. For comparison, in Switzerland and Austria, where skiing is a national passion, over a third of the population hits the slopes. A much more common way to spend a winter holiday for a Russian is by flying off to a warm beach somewhere. As for me, I'm not much of a lie on a beach all week kind of person, but I did try working remotely while wintering abroad recently, and man, it opened my eyes. Turns out, in today's world you don't actually have to bundle up in layers just to step outside under a leaden sky growing icicles from your frozen breath on the way to grab a coffee. Maybe that's the reason Russia has top-tier delivery services, so you can have coffee brought to you in 15 minutes and let someone else grow the icicles. So why would anyone willingly go on vacation somewhere cold, harsh and totally out of their comfort zone? Is it the awe-inspiring beauty of nature? Or the thrill of overcoming challenges and pushing yourself? Maybe the social connections and the après-ski vibes? Or maybe just a good old-fashioned adrenaline rush? Should we agree that one of the most captivating aspects, the one that justifies all the effort and preparation needed to step onto a well-sliding device and race down a snowy slope, is the magical state of the flow? The special mental state where a person becomes completely immersed in the activity at hand, fully concentrated, reacting quickly, coordinating movements seamlessly, losing track of time and the surroundings reality, experiencing the ultimate satisfaction of peak productivity and pure enjoyment of the process. No overthinking, no stress, the rider becomes one with the board and the mountain. Every turn feels natural, every movement flows without a second thought. It's full control without even trying. A run that lasts just a few minutes can feel like a blink of an eye or like a deep, intense journey. And in the evening, you can take a breath and stroll through a city you've never been to before. Check out the cozy Stalinist neoclassical buildings designed with inspiration from the terraced parks of Italian Renaissance palaces. Notice the panel houses with their local signatures triangle bay windows. Take in the life of a city where people can live within walking distance of the ski lift for decades and never set foot on a board, and that's totally fine. The phenomenon of flow was described by psychologist Mikhailo Csikszentmihalyi and is associated with peak productivity and deep enjoyment of the process. Flow occurs when a task matches the rider's skill level. It must be challenging but not overwhelming. For example, a beginner might enter a state of flow on an easy slope, whereas an experienced rider will only achieve it in a difficult terrain or in a snow park. It's essential to silence the inner dialogue and simply enjoy the movement without striving for perfect tricks or records. Gradually mastering new elements, jumps, tricks, high-speed descents, creates new challenges that sustain interest and motivation. A conscious awareness of the wind, the sun of snow beneath the board, and the movements of one's body also contributes to achieving flow. Flow changes the way the brain works. During flow, activity in the brain prefrontal cortex decreases, a phenomenon known as transient hyperfrontality. This part of the brain is responsible for self-criticism and time perception. As a result, people in flow stop fearing mistakes and lose track of time. Flow is linked to peak productivity. Studies have shown that people who regularly experience flow can increase their productivity several times over. One study by McKinsey found that employees in a state of flow were up to 500% more productive. This explains why sometimes we can solve a complex problem in just one evening when fully immersed in work. Flow is a natural state of euphoria and exhilaration. In this state, the brain releases a cocktail of neurotransmitters: dopamine, joy, norepinephrine, focus, and serotonin, satisfaction. This creates a sense of euphoria and motivation, similar to the effect of certain substances, but without the harmful side effects. Flow is accessible in almost any activity. Although it is often associated with extreme sports, flow can be experienced in everyday tasks: writing, painting, cooking, or solving mathematical problems. The key is the right balance of challenge and interest. Flow enhances learning. When in flow, the brain processes and retains new information more efficiently. This is due to the activation of the dopamine system, which strengthens neural connections. Athletes and musicians, for example, often master complex techniques more quickly when they are in this state. As my camera disappears beneath the thickening snow, I ride down the slope, exhausted yet happy, contemplating whether I should try something from the local cuisine for dinner tonight. Perhaps reindeer stew with lingonberries, or wild mushroom soup with herbs, or even a hearty fish broth. And for dessert, Maybe pancakes with cloudberry jam, or something fancy with reindeer moss. But my culinary musings are cut short when at the bottom Sasha asks, "Where's your camera?" And just like that, my thoughts of food quickly give way to thoughts of a $700 debt to the rental shop and the loss of all my recorded and yet to be recorded footage. The lift ride up and descent to the crash site took about 20 minutes, and despite digging through what felt like half the slope, the freshly fallen snow had buried any hope of finding it before summer. But if a cameraman never dies, does his content? That evening we settled for basic burgers, and while waiting for our order we posted a lost and found notice in the ski resorts community group. I hadn't even finished chewing the saddest burger when I got a message. Someone had picked up my camera before we even started searching for it. Kirevsk gets just 10% sunny days a year, but our trip didn't fit that statistic. Smash that like button and subscribe to catch a rare glimpse of the Kibini peaks glowing like marshmallows and our humble attempts at freeriding in the local couloirs.